I'm Senior Airman Joshua Williams, and welcome to The Barrel, news from Niagara. Congratulations are in order for Amelia, Niagara's newest mother. Staff Sergeant Lucas Morrow has the story.
A young family of Killdeer Birds built a home on Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station this summer. These native New Yorkers are unique because they build their nests on the ground. The mother will stay with the eggs through harsh weather and even predators. They've developed a clever way to lure the curious away from their eggs. If someone gets too close, the birds fake an injury to distract predators away from the nest.
And both the mom and the dad will do that because they'll do their darndest to make sure that you don't hurt their eggs.
914th Environmental Engineer Kim Powell says she often receives calls about killdeer nests. She says these protected birds and their eggs must be left untouched according to state conservation law.
If there's important areas that need to be protected for purposes of the mission, we do try to make sure that we tell people to keep things moving around the area, just because if you leave things stagnant, the birds might find a nice spot to nest.
The birds can lay 2 to 4 eggs and may take up to a month to hatch. Air Force Staff Sergeant Lucas Morrow, Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station, New York.
3 chicks hatched during the 4th of July holiday and left the nest later that week. We had an opportunity to look into the maintenance hangar where a young senior airman was getting some on-the-job training with his supervisor.
I'm an ISO crew chief. Crew chief is maintenance on the plane. Last week we inspected this plane, and now we're fixing any discrepancies we found with the plane. And then now I'm doing a follow-on training. So this is the 3rd plane that I've gotten to work on. So my goal is to just keep pushing forward and keep learning more. I know that they've been talks we're changing airframes eventually. We're going to the tankers. So I get to learn a whole new plane now. So now I'll have a general knowledge of 2 different planes, which will be pretty cool. And just go on from there.
For many here at the 914th, September and October will mean physical fitness tests. Let's check in with exercise physiologist Paul Hackett, who has a few tips for your next PT test.
A lot of times the run is the toughest portion for a person to pass. What I want you to know is that your body will adapt if you get out and do some running. You want to try to get 3 to 4 days a week, get out for 20 to 30 minutes at a pop. You'll find after probably about a month you will start to gain some of the advantages from the regular training. And at 90 days or about 3 months, you're going to not have a problem with that component of the test. There's also a good app you can download, a Couch to 5K app, which will take you from basically ground zero all the way to running a distance more than you need to for the test, but it's going to help you score well on that component. Another component, and probably the best one to do for your total body strength, is the push-up. The push-up is going to allow you to strengthen yourself for that component, but it's also going to help you with doing sit-ups because it's going to strengthen your core. There's 3 variations you want to do to get the most out of it. One is a full range push-up, and by that I mean you go all the way to the gym floor and then fully extend all the way up. Knock out as many as you possibly can, and when you get to the point of exhaustion, you drop your knees and you keep cranking out as many as you can till you finish. You take a brief break, you come back, you do another set of push-ups, the exact Air Force push-up. Go to 90 degrees, come back up. Again, when you get to the point of exhaustion, drop your knees and crank out as many more good 90-degree push-ups as you possibly can do. Then take one more break, come back, and the last set is going to be an Air Force push-up, but as fast as you possibly can do it. You're going to burn out pretty quick, but again, use the technique of dropping your knees and continue on. For the sit-up component, I would recommend that you don't do the typical Air Force sit-up to prep for it, which is putting your feet under something, because it puts some stress on the lower back. Try to focus on doing sit-ups with your feet just on the floor, or if that's too difficult, put your feet up on a chair or something. A way to strengthen the lower abs and hip flexors would be to focus on leg lifts, but remember to keep your lower back pressed to the floor while you're doing that, and that'll keep your back in a safe position. So I wish you the best of luck this fall, And if you need any information, I am always happy to help out anyone who needs any workout plan. You can reach me at the base gym at 236-2506.
Thanks, Mr. Hackett. The C-130 is no stranger to Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station, but today, airmen from the 914th Maintenance Squadron work on a different type of Hercules. This AC-130 gunship made an early stop last week after a fuel gauge issue. We spoke with Aircraft Fuel Systems craftsman, Staff Sergeant John Gonrowski, about the repairs.
Basically, it's like in your gauge in your car where it tells you if your tank's full or empty. Same thing on an aircraft. So we had to replace the wires and the probes, and now we're at the point of putting the plane back together. It's pretty rare here to work on different airframes. Unless you get deployed, then you got a chance to work on a nice variety. Some of the differences here is there's a nice 30mm cannon off the side. In the back there you actually drop bombs, and then each side actually has a spot for missiles and other bombs as well. Working on an airplane like this, it actually brings me a lot of pride, and it makes me happy to get up in the morning and come to work.
Well, that's it for this edition of The Barrel. If you have an upcoming event you would like to share, contact Public Affairs. Signing out from the 914th Airlift Wing, a current, qualified, mission-ready force.